A little bit more room. Hey, thumb on the football! Big man scrambling!
Action pass to him. He fires to the top. One-handed catch.
Buchanan Simons is open. Breaks the tackle. This is going to be a 70-yard touchdown. Buchanan Simons. Over the top, and that might be the most impressive interception all day. What a shoot!
Breaking through a tackle.
Oh no!
What a ridiculous sequence of events.
He's got Heath McDaniel Jr. inside the 10 to the 5. Touchdown, Carolina.
The kick is blocked from Zuderveld. It's loose.
How? What?
Welcome to Sim Football Pregame. Along with Mike St. Green, I'm Cameron Irvine. Mike, welcome back. How was broadcasting school?
Hey, broadcasting school was great, but hey, Cam, it is great to be back with you, man. I don't know if it's as big as when Jordan came back in the 90s, but hey, I'm back.
Hey, we're happy to have you back. But seriously, though, how was the cruise? How was the time off? Man, the convention was great. Thank you so much for hosting us.
Hey, cruise was great. Vacation was great. Got a nice tan, as you could see. But the convention this past weekend, what a great way to come back. Get reacquainted with the league and get to see a bunch of faces. Behind these great players that we see week in and week out in the SFL. Absolutely.
And hey, we've got another great block. It's week 4, and this is what is coming up this afternoon. We start in the Southeast with Carolina and Charleston. Big game in the Atlantic Division, the first divisional game for both of these teams. Tulsa and Baltimore follows that shortly. Game in full on the SFL Twitch channel. Arizona will take on Denver. That's a rematch of the epic quarterfinal from last season, where Riley Quintero's kick return touchdown doomed the Scorpions, and Denver went on to claim their second championship. LA and Houston follows that, the surprising 2-1 Lycans and 3-0 Hyenas. What do you think about the docket today, Mike?
Yeah, Cam, today our two feature matchups, great matchups, starting off with Carolina and in Charleston. Carolina coming off a heartbreaking loss last week in overtime to Lone Star Glory. They received a kick in overtime, fumble, lost the game out, in overtime to Lone Star. So there's a heartbreak for them. But this is a great regional and divisional matchup. Charleston looking to go 3-1 and take control of the Atlantic Division, and Carolina looking to keep pace and get back to 500. And speaking of heartbreak, Cam, in our second game, feature game of the day, Arizona returns to the scene of the crime where they lost a heartbreaking matchup to Denver last season in the playoffs, and they're looking to avenge that loss later today in the action over back in Denver.
Should be an exciting day. Mike and I will keep you updated from SFL Studios all day long. Tyler Falk, Ryan Caudell has the call from Carolina when we come back. This is the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports, and Kickoff is next.
Next Level Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the Simulation Football League.
This is the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. With a successful convention behind us, the SFL presses forward here in Season 17, and the best way to do that is with a budding rivalry game. It's the Battle of the Carolinas. It's the Charleston Predators versus the Carolina Skyhawks. Hello everyone, I'm Tyler Falk. In this rivalry matchup, the series has been heavily dominated by the away team, with the past 4 straight matchups going the visitors' way. I want to welcome in Ryan Caudill. Ryan, when you take a look at Carolina, what is their key to getting that elusive home victory against these Predators?
Their offense needs to come out swinging. It's very simple. We have Matt South, who has had a great season so far, very accurate as a passer, finding his receivers. He has Heath McDaniel Jr. and Harish Prasad, who are super underrated receivers in this SFL. Any given game, these guys can go off for 100+ yards and a touchdown. Both of them could do it in the same game. We could see it here today. But if their offense can explode today, they can take down Charleston.
Absolutely, and it's underpinned by the league's runner-up in receptions, Logan Jack, and he plays their tailback. Carolina is definitely one of the teams that like to throw a wrinkle in your game plan there, Ryan.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They love to change it up. With Logan Jack, he'll chip away, they'll go to the receivers, or they'll just run it through Jack. There's a lot that you have to game plan for when you're facing this Carolina offense.
And they will start with the football after we get the kick away from Brad Brechet from Charleston. Here we go, folks. Week 4 is underway. It's going to be Harish Prasad on the return, who in the convention weekend unfortunately had a fumble, which led to Lone Star's victory over them. This time he holds on to the football, and we'll see for the first time Matt South for his first possession of the ball game.
Yeah, unfortunately, the fumble was the difference in that game against Lone Star. This could have been a much different game with much different implications had they come away 2-1 instead of 1-2 last week.
Carolina in blue jerseys, silver pants. Charleston in white jerseys, black pants. As South is back to pass, his first pass is going to go in and out of the hands of his intended target, and that is going to bring up a quick 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, close play there by the linebacker. Hoffman was there on the coverage, nearly got a pick there for himself as well. So definitely not what Matt South wants coming out of the gate. Needs to lead his receiver there just a little bit more, and he may find the completion.
He's completed over 75% of his passes through the first 3 weeks of the season, starting off on the wrong foot there, with the first pass being incomplete. 2nd down, South still in the gun. High snap, he corrals it, looking over the middle again. And again, it's knocked aside, intended for Harish Prasad. And it's 3rd down, and so far, nothing to show for these Skyhawks.
Yeah, great coverage there by Charleston there in the secondary. They expected the pass, and I think that's what they expected last down as well. So they've game planned here for, Matt South to throw a lot of balls, and it could be the right game plan for them.
On 3rd down, South elects to go under center, 2 backs in the backfield, 2 receivers to his right, 1 to his left, takes a deep drop, looking near side, intended, and what a toe drag catch by Sam Avalos, the 3rd wide receiver on this team. He is very underutilized, but he shows you there when his name is called, he makes the play.
Yeah, I was talking about McDaniel and Prasad, and Avalos completely went under the radar there, just like that catch over the outstretched hand of a defender. An amazing throw there by Matt South to convert the 3rd down and get a fresh set for the Skyhawks.
Carolina comes out with a bunch set to the left, and Logan Jack in the backfield. South back to pass again. 4 straight passes to begin the drive. Looking for Jack on the swing pass, and Jack finds his way for a pickup of 4. And let's meet the Carolina Skyhawk offense. Matt South, the first year with the team, with the Skyhawks, coming from Portland. His 5th season in the league all told. Logan Jack is the halfback with Sam Avalos, Heath McDaniel Jr., and Harish Prasad making up the wide receiving core, and 2 standout tight ends, Tony Zoma and Vince DeSantis, both with no touchdowns on the season. South looking again for Avalos, and very surprising that Avalos has gotten his name called more than once during the early part of this football game.
Yeah, and it could be Charleston game planning. They could be really well covered right now, but that does leave Avalos open, and he is another weapon on this offense that has not been utilized very much, and he could really go off for a big game here.
Everyone's bunched in on the line on the offense. 9 men on the line, including 4 tight ends. South again looking for Jack out of the backfield, and Jack's trying to fight his way to the sticks. Is going to be marked just short, and it's going to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, great effort there by Jack. Tried to fight through the defender for every last inch, and he almost got to the line to gain. He was held up just short. Now here's a chance for Carolina. No, they're going to go for it.
They'll come back to the line. Offset eye behind South. 2 wide receivers to his left. Only 6 men in the box for the Charleston defense. And South is just going to elect to call a timeout. The old bait and switch proves to be unsuccessful, and Charleston is going to force Carolina to punt this one away.
You fooled me, and I guess that's why I'm not on defense. I really thought they were going to go for it. It would have been a very bold call, but instead they're going to go for the punt. And this is a great opportunity for Carolina to pin Charleston deep in their own territory. You know, make them go the whole length of the field, fight for every single yard that they have to get.
On comes Mike Jackson to punt this one away. Jay Taylor stands at about his 15-yard line, makes a man miss at the 16, and is wrapped up and taken down at the 18. And now we'll see TD Drew come on the field for his first drive of the ball game. Last week, a game to forget. 7 interceptions all told last week.
Yeah, definitely one that he just wants to forget about, throw in the trash can, and not come back to that. This is a new game, a new day. He needs to just wipe the slate clean it up a little bit, because Carolina has a great secondary. They can punish you.
See where they go, where they have maybe an offset on wide receivers toward the near side. Drew looking for his halfback Swearingen out of the backfield. That's going to net them a loss of 1, as the pursuit there by Chad Stinson is going to bring him back for that loss. And now Stinson is only 8 tackles away from reaching 100 in his career.
Yeah, lots of pressure on the quarterback there. Drew was forced to throw that as soon as he could, and maybe, you know, he led his running back a little bit too far out of bounds, and they lose a yard on it.
Drew back to pass again, looking for an out route on the far side this time. That one's caught by Taylor, and Taylor's going to get them about 4 yards on the play, 3rd down.
Pick up a little bit of what they lost and then some. Now you have a 3rd and 7. This one it's a little bit long. You're going to need to maybe go to the passing option. We'll see what they do. This is going to be a very big 3rd down for them. For Carolina, if they can get this ball back, that's a huge tempo change for them.
3 wide again here for Charleston. Drew back to pass. Near side, that's caught, but running out of bounds is Ken Macaro, and that's going to bring up a quick 3 and out.
Again, feeling a bit of the pressure. The pocket was starting to collapse there a little bit on Drew, and he just forced the ball away a little bit too quick, and Macaro was led out of bounds, nearly got that ball deflected as well by the defense. Now we have Prasad here for another return.
Ollie Saddle will punt this one away, as Harish Prasad will start his return from the 35, is wrapped up almost immediately by Zach Lay and company at the 38, and on comes the Carolina Skyhawks offense once again, as they'll look to improve on their last drive.
Yeah, great defensive stand there from Carolina. They got a lot of pressure to the quarterback and forced some throws that were a little bit too quick and didn't get the yardage that they needed. So great start to the game so far for Carolina.
Offset single back behind Matt South here on the opening play of the drive. Be a handoff for Logan Jack, one of the few times we'll see that today as Jack will pick up 2 yards and will introduce you to the Charleston Predator defense. Jeff Sabolka, John Lally, and Dick Baker make up the defensive line, with Jack Brown and Jack Hoffman manning the linebacking spots. Johnny Bravo and Corey Chief Menor make up the corners, with their 4 safeties, Josh Reese, Tommy Zanardi, John Stamango, and Zach Lay. Another handoff as, oh my goodness, Jack gets leveled up the middle. Only a pickup of 1 as Jack Brown levels him.
That one hurt. Oh, that one really hurt. I can feel that one up here in the booth. That was such a big hit there by Jack Brown, and even the play before, Dick Baker made a great play against the run here. So now Carolina opting to pass.
All slant pattern over the middle. That one's hauled in for first down yardage. It's to Tony Zoma over to midfield, and he's slow to get up.
Yeah, slow to get up, but hopefully he does. In fact, he does get up there. A bit of a sigh of relief. Carolina hoping that he doesn't go down.
First down from midfield for these Skyhawks. Nickel look from Charleston. Another hand up the middle. Making man miss is Logan Jack, and that's a good pickup of 8 yards. We saw no rushes attempted by Logan Jack in the first drive. So far, 3 on the second drive.
Yeah, they've changed it up here. They went with the pass. Charleston kind of was prepared for that. They made some great plays in the secondary. Now Logan Jack getting the ball on the ground, and you see the vision. You see why he's been a great running back. He was able to get to the outside, find a lane when it looked like there was nothing.
4 wide outs, and Matt South will go under center. Back to pass, looking near side for Zoma again, and Zoma picks up another first down. So hashtag throw it to the tight end equals first down yardage.
Yeah, Mike Doc going to be happy about that one. Zoma here getting a great reception the first time, getting that first down, now getting another one for Carolina. They're just moving the chains very slowly, very methodically. They use the run to maybe get them ahead, and now using the pass to converge that first down.
Down from the 44, the Skyhawks. South looking deep over the middle. That's caught! And nearly into the end zone goes Heath McDaniel Jr. And we talked about it earlier here, Ryan. Heath McDaniel Jr. and Harish Prasad can make things happen in a hurry.
Yeah, the whole game they've been going to Avalos. They went to Zoma. They went to Logan Jack. And everybody kind of forgot about McDaniel. You cannot forget about Heath McDaniel Jr. or he will burn you. And he did just that, getting out above all the other secondary there to that next level, and nearly was able to bring it into the end zone.
Now Carolina go to the power I. First and goal from the 4. They'll run with Jack up the middle, has blockers, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina!
Beautiful drive from Carolina. Really, it went almost perfectly for them. I mean, they were able to use Logan Jack very well during that drive. He was able to get them forward some yardage, and then they burned them all with Heath McDaniel Jr. Logan Jack secures the touchdown. Amazing drive for Carolina. They start off this first quarter, their second drive, they're able to get into the end zone, put some pressure on Charleston, and they have the momentum early on in this game.
That's Logan Jack's 4th rushing touchdown on the season. As that snap spot, the kick is up from Whistle Jones, and it is good, and Carolina take a 7-0 early lead. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at www.simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. And Jay Taylor gets his return started from the 4, trying to edge it out near side, and is eventually taken down by Jimmy Thompson at the 27-yard line. And now Charleston will get their second bite at the cherry.
Yeah, second time for Carolina. They're able to go get a touchdown. Charleston needs to do just that. They cannot let Carolina just have that momentum. They were able to get, good defensive stand, get the touchdown. Now Charleston needs to assert themselves and get on the board.
And they're playing with a heavy heart today, Ryan Cadell, as earlier this week, Jeff Sabolka, one of the defensive linemen for the Predators, lost his granddaughter earlier this week. So our thoughts and prayers go out to the Sabolka family, and hopefully everything is all right during this troubling time. On the last play, goes for 1 yard. Now they come out on 2nd and 9 from their own 28-yard line. He drew in the gun, 2 wideouts to his right. Back to pass. The lefty fires over the middle, and that's into traffic, but hauled in by the Predators, and they're down to their own 48-yard line. It's Buchanan Simons on the reception.
And who else but Buchanan Simons there? He has been the bread and butter of this offense. Leading receiver. He has amazing numbers for a receiver with very few receptions. He's top 10, number 6 in yards, number 8 in yards per carry, and he's able to get this done with such little ball share.
We're looking to pass again. Good pocket. And that's another pass over the middle, and it's caught. This time by the fullback, Terrell Sutherland. His only reception a week ago resulted in a touchdown, so that's going to hurt the average a little bit.
Yeah, definitely not 100% touchdown percentage for Sutherland, but a great play, and they're able to utilize him as a receiver going out on a slant route. Looked like a slot receiver coming out of there.
Drew again of the gun as they're quickly marching down the field. Drew back to pass again. Another pass over the middle, and they're eating the Carolina defense alive as they're already into the red zone.
They are looking so hot right now. They are cooking really well right now here on offense. TD Drew is just finding these open zones, and there Jay Taylor was just wide open there, and they were just getting first down after first down after first down. Carolina needs to slow this down. They need to slow down Charleston, find a way to get a big hit or something, because Charleston's looking really good right now.
Empty backfield. Drew takes a deep drop. Pressure coming, and he's going to be wrapped down for a sack. A loss of 7. In comes John Nevels.
And I talked about slowing him down, and that's exactly what they did. Carolina able to get to the quarterback. He had a ton of time on that play before, and the defensive line, they stepped up. They took that as an insult, thinking he had that much time in the backfield. He's able to get to the quarterback, get a big sack, and now you have a long 2nd and 17 here.
TD Drew in the gun again. Back to pass. Pressure coming from the middle. He's able to find Swearingen on the far side, and Swearingen's only able to get back up to the line of scrimmage. 3rd down upcoming. Correction, that's Terrell Sutherland in on the reception, as we'll quickly introduce you to the rest of the Predator offense. TD Drew is the quarterback with Keith Swearingen, the halfback. Terrell Sutherland is that fullback. Ken McCarl, Buchanan Simons, and Jay Taylor are the receivers, with Lyric Da Vinci at tight end, and Fred Dukes leads the way and the trenches at his guard spot. 3rd down, Drew looking to the end zone, and it's tipped and knocked aside. Kane Vasquez in on the deflection, a touchdown-saving deflection, and it's 4th down.
Beautiful play there by Kane Vasquez, able to get up in the air, and that's why he's one of the better strong safeties in the game right now, able to make a great play on that ball. And it's interesting, this drive from Charleston. They've been going pass, pass, pass. A lot of involvement with the receivers on an offense where they have a running back with the 5th best carries in the league.
Now see Brad Bretchett on to attempt a 40-yarder from the right hash. He's 4-6 on the year. Snap, spot, kick is up, and it is through the uprights and good. As Charleston edge back into this one, it's 7-3 after a 8-play, 55-yard drive.
And Charleston with a great drive there. They had a ton of momentum. The passing game was looking very sharp. And if they can continue that in this game, they already have Swearingen, who is a great running back, who they've shown can get a lot of involvement and get it done for this team. Then they're going to have a 2-headed dragon that Carolina going to have to deal with, and it's going to be very tough for them on defense.
Tyler Falk, Ryan Caudill here in the booth with Cameron Irvine, our producer, and Ike McBride and Zach Holdorf as our statisticians. Thank you to everyone joining us here today in Carolina as Jade Harish Prasad's return. We'll get back to the 26, and we'll see Carolina try to replicate what they did last time out, as it resulted in a touchdown.
Yeah, they had a very good, very methodical drive last time. They switched it up with running and throwing. It was a very even balance, and it was very hard for Charleston to get anything done there.
Power eye again, they'll run with Jack. Has blocked on the far side, still going as Jack, spinning through defenders and falling forward to the 40-yard line. I am very impressed so far with their rushing attack.
And this is something we've needed to see from Logan Jack. Carolina has been waiting for Logan Jack to have a good game, and this is looking like the makings of that game. He's been running very well, finding these lanes, plowing through defenders just like on that run. And in this season so far, he hasn't really put up the numbers that we've come to expect from Logan Jack.
Opposite eye behind Matt South here on a new first down. Quick drop, pressure coming up the middle, looking over the middle, and it's picked off, and here come the Predators. It's a big-time interception by John Reese, his first interception on the year.
Matt South has been so good at not turning the ball over this season. That's his 5th interception, and now his 100th interception of his career. And he's been so good at not throwing picks, not making these mistakes. And Charleston has been so good at getting interceptions this year. Zach Lay is one of the leading interceptions getters in the league, and Charleston makes Matt South pay.
We'll see if Charleston can turn that early turnover into points. All slant pattern over the middle this time. It's hauled in again, and it's going to result in a big first down to start the drive.
Threading the needle there to the tight end. Da Vinci getting involved here, and that puts her over 100 yards for this season so far. So a good reception and a good start to the drive for Charleston.
Again, they're going to come out in the gun. This time, 5 wide receivers, 3 to the right, 2 to the left. Only a nickel look here from the Carolina defense. Deep pass near side, hauled in by Ken Macaro, and they are quickly, no, they're going to rule that as an incompletion. My mistake, second down.
Could have fooled me. I thought he got his foot in. Looked like a catch, and Charleston with a challenge. I think this is a good challenge right here. I think that Kim Macaro was in bounds. It looked like he got that left foot down, and if it gets overturned, that's a huge play for Charleston.
Now, again, a commentator's curse. I could be, definitely saying that, it's definitely in, especially on the call. But it does look like right there, Ken Macaro does get his feet in. Let's see what R62 has to say.
After review, the pass has been ruled complete. The catch was made.
And indeed, it will be complete. So a nice pass near the near side of the field results in Charleston already into the red zone. Good little play there.
Now 1st and goal, and this is huge for Charleston. Able to get a field goal after that big offensive drive where they were driving so well. Get the field goal, then immediately come back with an interception. They can put some points on the board. This is a huge momentum swing.
Loose coverage from the Carolina defensive backs. Drew looking far side, picked off! Huge play in the end zone by Davidson Joseph, and Carolina escaped the danger.
They're called the Skyhawks, but they should be called the Ballhawks there. Joseph gets up in the air and makes a beautiful play on the interception. That's what they needed from this defense. They were looking like Charleston was going to be able to take the lead. They were looking very good, but Carolina takes the ball away. They erase the earlier interception, and they get the ball back with the lead.
A chorus of groans coming from the Charleston faithful as Carolina will take over on their 20-yard line. South, back to pass, near side. That one's hauled in for... No, again, it's going to be ruled incomplete, looking for Heath McDaniel Jr.
That time, I don't think he had the fortune of the foot being in bounds, but Carolina, they're going to challenge it too. They just saw Charleston throw the challenge flag. He said, you know what, I got one of those too. We're going to see what R62 is going to call it. It looked close.
Dueling challenges here early on in the first quarter, and this one could result in a first down if McDaniel got the feet in.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think that left foot may have stepped out of bounds. We'll see what R62 has to say about it.
The pass was incomplete.
And it goes the way of Charleston. Indeed, the call on the field stands, and Carolina is going to lose a timeout.
Yeah, I think they got a little trigger happy there. Saw the first down that they could have got. That would have been a good first down for them, getting the chains moving. But unfortunately, just they did not have the foot in bounds.
So Carolina quickly down to only one timeout remaining in the half. Definitely something they might struggle with as we continue on through this football game. Pass far side, and the hit may have jarred the ball loose by none other than Jack Brown.
Jack Brown has been all over the place, and he's been a big key for this defense in their victories this season so far. He's a big part of this defense. They're making a massive play in coverage, able to knock that ball loose, force an incompletion. Now you have a 3rd and 10 here for Carolina. If they don't convert, Charleston has to erase that interception they just got.
Run straight, the package on the field for Carolina, looking to get past the 30 to convert on 3rd down. Deep ball near side, hauled in by a jumping Heath McDaniel Jr. This time he's in bounds, and he's across the 50 to the Charleston 46.
And a beautiful throw by Matt South. That was just perfect. Exactly where the ball needed to be. McDaniel was able to haul it in by the sideline over the defender. I mean, it just doesn't get better than that. And I think the defender, they may be a little mad, but there was nothing they could do to defend that ball. That was a perfect throw by Matt South. Exactly what he needed to do there on 3rd down.
In the waning moments of the first quarter, they're going to run here on the final play of the quarter with Jack near side. He'll pick up 6 yards, and that'll bring us to the end of the first quarter. Carolina holding strong here at home. They're leading 7-3. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. Welcome back to Raleigh, North Carolina, where the Skyhawks have the football. I'm Tyler Falk, alongside Ryan Caudill. Happy to have you with us here on Next Level Sports for this SFL Week 4 action as Logan Jack spins out of 1, spins out of 2, and he's down to the 30-yard line.
On the laundromat, because he just put on the spin cycle on these Predators. That was insane. He was nearly stopped behind the line, able to make an amazing spin move to get out of it, and then he had blockers in front of him. Oh my goodness. That was just a dirty spin move. Jack Brown, of all the people on Charleston, breaking out of that tackle. That was very impressive, and that's a hard guy to get off your back.
One Jack spins out of a Jack tackle, so we'll see if they go back to Logan Jack here on this first down. Be a quick drop from South, looking for another spinning Logan Jack, this time only able to pick up maybe a yard as Corey Chief Menor takes him down for the tackle.
Back-to-back Jacks there, but not the second time around. He can't quite get it done, can't quite get out of the spin moves there. Two defenders there swarmed him on the outside. They were ready for that screen.
Carolina come out with a bunch set to the right here on this second down. South again looking this time far side. He's got Heath McDaniel Jr. and he'll fall forward for a first down, and into the red zone they go.
And that's what you need from your receivers. Heath McDaniel, there's a reason why he's so coveted, why he's so used in this offense. He has the speed and the explosive ability, but he also fights for every single yard, and he gets that first down fighting for every inch.
Coverage backs off as Jack tries to bounce to the far side, spinning away from two defenders, and maybe a little bit of a measure of revenge from Jack Brown as he'll bring down Logan Jack after only a short pickup.
And that was a very impressive run from Logan Jack. I mean, he had three defenders around him, 3 yards in the backfield. It looked like he should have gone down for a loss of 4 every single time. He's instead able to make an insane move and still pick up a yard.
South gonna throw it here on second down. It's a dump off to Logan Jack out of the backfield, and Jack tried to make something happen, but it's only gonna result in maybe 2 yards as the Predators swarmed to the ball carrier and brought him down.
And they keep going to Logan Jack, and I think this is the perfect time for them to hit someone else. I think, we saw earlier, we saw them go to Logan Jack, they went to Zoma and then in Avalos, and then they went to McDaniel for the touchdown. So if they can kind of get into a pattern and then change it up, that'll be big for them.
All slant pattern, South pumps once, looking over the middle and finds his receiver. Down to the 5-yard line they go, and it's Tony Zoma, the tight end, with the reception.
I talk about McDaniel and Prasad, who hasn't been in this game, but when you have a quarterback like Matt South, who's throwing the ball so accurately, finding these holes in coverage and just moving the ball downfield, every receiver can be a star in this offense. Everybody can step up and make these big plays for this offense.
6 men in the box, and Carolina come out with a heavy set. A run up the middle might be the order of the day, except they'll pass. Logan Jack on the screen and is get taken down in the backfield. Zach Lay, the safety, comes up from his safety spot and gets the tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
Emphasis there on strong safety from Zach Lay. Hits him up in the chest and brings him to the ground. Big hit on a guy that's so hard to bring down.
3 wideouts, 2 backs in the backfield here on second and goal. South will find his man near side and running into the end zone. No, just stopped just short. The fullback, Freddie Greer, unable to muscle his way in. Fantastic touchdown saving tackle, and it's third down.
Corey Menor with an amazing hit there. I thought Carolina was just going to be able to walk it in, and he came out of nowhere. Now you're on the goal line. Do they go to Logan Jack? Do they go to the passing game? This could be anything from Carolina.
Another heavy set, only 5 men in the box. They'll pass again here on the goal line, looking for Jack, and Jack will waltz into the end zone for his first touchdown in the receiving category this season.
And he keeps racking them up for Carolina. They played this whole drive through Logan Jack. Seemed like every play, every other play, he was getting the ball on a run, on a pass. Somehow they just need to get the ball in his hands, and that is a recipe for success for this offense. They're just able to let him do the work, let him do his thing, go down the field, and get that touchdown for them. Now they're up 14-3 pending this extra point, and that's a huge lead for Carolina, and this is what they need. They're in the driver's seat here in this first half.
A very solid drive, 16 plays, resulting in that touchdown pass to Logan Jack. Slow snap spot, but the kick is up and good from Whistle Jones, and it's going to be 14-3 Carolina. Visit the SFL League website at simulationfl.net for info on how to create a player to join our community, the league, and the teams that play in it, and get a comprehensive history of the SFL. It's over 1,500 games, and it's thousands of players who have hit the virtual field. The Simulation Football League, 17 seasons strong. And now we'll see Jay Taylor on the return, but going absolutely nowhere at the 22-yard line. That's where he'll eventually be upended. And on comes Charleston to maybe make something happen on this drive. Unfortunately, last time out, they threw a pick in the end zone.
Yeah, that's definitely not what you want. Once you get, they had an interception going for them. They had what looked like, you know, the makings of a touchdown for them. It was taken away by Carolina. Now they need to wipe the slate clean and come back and do something good.
Nearly picked off for the second straight pass attempt in a row, as it was Siobhan Prasad in on the coverage.
Yeah, great coverage there by Carolina. They've prepared for the pass. And it's interesting, Keith Swearingen hasn't been super active, only one attempt so far in this game, even though he has been one of the biggest pieces of this offense. And they've definitely tried to change it up on this game so far.
TD Drew in the gun. Swearingen and Sutherland to his left and right. Back to pass, pressure coming, able to get it away, and that's hauled in by Jay Taylor. A huge pickup down to the 43-yard line.
Great throw there by TD Drew in between two outstretched hands, and he's still able to get it into his receiver's hands. That was an amazing throw. Chad Stinson nearly able to get the deflection, but not quick enough. Charleston gets the first down. They're keeping this drive moving.
New set of downs here for the Predators. Drew looks far side. That's Swearingen as he spins away from one tackle and picks up 6 yards as Carolina is finally able to take him down. And let's introduce you to that Skyhawk defense. Ryan Ray, John Nevels, and Phil Hall make up the defensive line, with David Ware, Chad Stinson, and Siobhan Prasad at linebacker. Tristan Hatley, Mark Martin, and Davidson Joseph are the corners, with Daniel Valentine, Monte Wyatt, and Kane Vasquez at the safety spots. Another pass here for TD Drew, looking over the middle into double coverage, but it's hauled in by Ken Maccaro, and it's another first down for Charleston.
Another first down through the passing game, and TD Drew is now up to 19th all-time in passing yards, getting over Kevin Walker, now just moving up the leaderboards, moving up those all-time stats.
Drew looking to add on to his total here, looking over the middle again, but this time it's going to be jarred free, incomplete.
Yeah, good defense here from Carolina. I mean, their secondary has really stepped up in this game. And Matt South, though he is finding completions, TD Drew, excuse me, he's finding completions, but Carolina is also finding the deflections and finding the good plays in the secondary.
Out in the strong eye to the near side. 3 wideouts. Drew back to pass, looking near side on the quick out route. That's hauled in by Jay Taylor. Pick up a 6 and a third down.
Yeah, Taylor getting a lot of involvement in this game so far. Usually we see Buchanan Simons get a ton of receptions, or get a ton of yards anyway, for this team, but they're using Jay Taylor kind of as the other option for this receiving pass, and maybe letting the defense sleep on Simons a little bit.
They'll flip the formation here on 3rd and 4. They'll look to the far side, and that one's hauled in by Ken Maccaro, but it's going to be marked just shy of the line to gain, and so it's decision time here on the Carolina 31.
Yeah, it's interesting here. We'll see what Charleston wants to do. They could go for a field goal. I think at this point, I think you should go for the touchdown. I think you're going to get this second half kickoff. You're going to get another chance. They're going for the surefire points, which is another good play if you are getting the ball back as well. You put some points on the board, you can pull ahead a little bit.
Fletcher had a long of 47 last week. This one from 48. Snap spot, kick is up, but it's no good. It missed it wide to the right. and Carolina will take over.
Yeah, they get a rough spot on the call before. Could have been a first down, but it was called short, and now they take the risk with the field goal. They thought it could have been sure points. They didn't want to take the risk on the 4th and inches, and it cost them dearly. Carolina has good field position here. They get the ball back. This is going to look bad for Charleston if they can't get a stop.
South looking to pass here on first down, finds Jack, who spins away from one. And this time the spin's gonna hurt him as he goes backwards, but due to forward progress, he'll make it just back up to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, luckily he had that forward progress. It looked like he was gonna get stopped even before the line. He makes a good move, and then he gets gang tackled by a bunch of different Charleston Predators swarming him.
Offset eye behind Matt South here on second down. They'll run with Jack up the middle, but he's immediately swarmed by a host of Predators, and it's going to result in a third down.
Yeah, last drive, Carolina had a lot of runs, a lot of involvement with Logan Jack in the offense, and now Charleston has planned for that. They've seen it, and they've contained him so far.
South in the gun, looking to throw over the middle, but it's knocked aside, incomplete, as it's Jack Hoffman on back-to-back plays, making the stop, and it's a quick 3-and-out for Carolina.
Yeah, amazing play there by Jack Hoffman in coverage, gets a deflection. There were 3 Carolina jerseys in the area looking to make that catch, but Hoffman makes a great play on defense, negates the reception. Now they're going to get the ball back. And that field goal miss is looking a lot less bad now. It is much more recoverable.
Good stand from the Predator defense. Now can their offense make something happen? Or special teams nearly comes in and makes the block, but Jay Taylor will call for a fair catch at his 29, and that is where the Predators will take over.
Yeah, Charleston not being able to capitalize on that last drive feels rough, but now they just have an opportunity here to do it again. Go down the field, get some points on the board this time, and you're going to get that second half kickoff. So if they can get something like a touchdown here, they're going to be in a really good spot coming into the second half.
Heavy set, offset eye behind TD Drew. Only 6 men in the box, so they're going to elect to pass. It's a rolling out, nearly picked up, but somehow Swearingen's able to haul it in and pick up solid yards. That's a gain of 9 on the near sideline.
Yeah, Drew there going out, looked like he was rolling out to his left, does a full 180, throws around to Swearingen, and he's able to pick up a nice gain on first down and a complete misdirection there.
Split backfield here on second and short. Drew back to pass, looking short over the middle. That's caught by Buchanan Simons, and that's going to result in a pickup of 2 and a first down.
That's all he needed. Not the typical play we expect from Simons. I think we see a lot of big plays coming his way, but now that was just a quick one. Use the surefire hands, get that first down, and keep it moving.
Only his second reception of the day, and only has 28 yards. Drew back to pass again over the middle, this time in and out of the hands of Ken Maccaro, and that's something we rarely see from the 7-season veteran.
A lot of time under his belt, 5 seasons here in Charleston, and just a rare misstep from him. That could have been a big first down for them. Keep them moving down the field, get them closer to field goal range. Instead, it's just an incompletion.
Now they'll come out with no traditional wide receivers, 3 tight ends and 2 backs in the backfield here on second and 10. They'll pass it again with Drew, this time looking for Swearingen near side, and he'll haul it in, but be out of bounds right at the line of scrimmage, and it's third down.
Yeah, definitely rushed that play a little bit when he didn't need to. Drew forced that ball to Swearingen. It was the right play, but he threw him just a little bit too far out of bounds. And now you have a big 3rd and 10 here.
Drew's going to come out all alone in the gun, 5 wideouts. And it's a dime set from the Carolina defense. Drew looking near side. That's hauled in, and that's one of the big plays we're expecting from Buchanan Simons. First down, Charleston.
What a tough receiver. I mean, he goes up in the air and takes a hit right to the ribs and is still able to come down with the ball. Really great play for Charleston. They're moving closer to field goal range. They're moving closer to the end zone here. Nearly out, just out of field goal range, I think, but they're really close to the red zone.
And we've hit the 2-minute warning here in the first half of action. Carolina lead 14-3 with Charleston driving. You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. Coming up on the 8 p.m. Music Halftime Report, Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green break down the first half of the Predators and Skyhawks. They also sit down with Las Vegas fullback Esther Miramontes in her first on-camera appearance to talk about her time in the SFL and provide an update on the action going on in Baltimore between the Vultures and the Desperados. It's all coming up on the 8 p.m. Music Halftime Report. Good play up the middle for Charleston. It's 2nd and 4, and the run was Swearingen, only his very second or third rush of the ball game, and that's something that if Charleston wants to get back in this football game, I think he has to get more involved in the run game, Ryan.
Exactly. I mean, their first 2 games, they were able to win them, and it was on the back of him getting a ton of carries, getting the ball a lot, and getting some production, and now he's not getting those carries, and we're seeing a lack of production from this Charleston offense.
Drew will go in the gun here on first down, looking to pass over the middle into coverage, and it's nearly picked off. Nearly coming away with the interception was the linebacker David Ware, the rookie out of Albuquerque.
Yeah, dangerous throw there by TD Drew, and we need to see less of that from Charleston. I mean, last week, 7 interceptions that killed them. It's we can't be repeating that if you're Charleston. I think they need to go back to that run game and get it done that way.
Drew again going to look to pass again over the middle. This time it's to Buchanan Simons, and he's down to the 6-yard line, and they'll take a timeout to stop the clock with 57 seconds remaining.
Hey, maybe scratch what I said about not throwing the ball, because that was a great play to Buchanan Simons, perfectly placed between the zones of the defender, and that's what we come to expect from Buchanan Simons. These huge plays, they do a lot with these other players. They kind of make you sleep on Buchanan Simons, and he's able to exploit that, get a big play there. Now we're here in the red zone, close to the goal line. They need to score.
All right, dime formation on the field for Carolina. Maybe a mismatch. They look over the middle, and it's nearly picked off again. Chad Stinson, among others, in on the coverage.
Now, the linebackers have been very involved here in the passing games. Lots of deflections coming out of these linebackers. David Ware just had one. Stinson now getting one. And it's only a matter of time before another interception happens. TD Drew needs to be very careful with the football.
Another power eye look here on 2nd and goal. They'll swing it out to Swearingen, spinning away from one and spinning his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Predators. They're on the board and clawing back into this football game.
And he made Tristan Hatley look silly there, putting on the spin cycle, and Hatley had no idea where he went. And it was a great run there for Swearingen, and this is the recipe of success for Charleston. I think you have these big plays to Simons, and then you get it done with Swearingen, and that's exactly what they were able to do on this drive. They need to get back into their old bread and butter, get back into that flow of the offense.
And snap spot kick is up, and Brechet's kick is good as Charleston look to make their way back in this football game, and that touchdown after 2 empty possessions is definitely a way to do that, Ryan.
Oh yeah, getting that second half kickoff is going to be very big for them. Especially if they can hold Carolina here, if they can prevent Carolina from scoring, doing anything, they can get this ball back, get another chance to get back in this game, and they could even take the lead after that drive. And if they can get back into this offensive flow, they can definitely change this game.
Prasad is decleated there at the 27, and so for the first time today, we'll send it back to SFL headquarters with Cam and Mike that have a game break from Baltimore.
Thank you, Tyler. In Baltimore, Jimmy Hazard, back from injury, is doing work.
Yeah, Cam, after these teams exchanged a couple of 3 and outs, Jimmy Hazard seeked out of the backfield for a 1-yard touchdown catch, and Baltimore goes up early in this ballgame.
7-0 in the first. Back to Tyler in Raleigh.
Thank you, Cam. Thank you, Mike. Logan Jack gets the call here on first down as Carolina might just be content with running out the rest of this clock.
Yeah, running the ball there definitely makes you think so that they feel confident with the lead that they have, the defense that they have as well going into this half. You don't want to turn the ball over and give Charleston another chance of good field position.
They will have to run one more play before the end of the half as Jack sneaks through a couple of tackles, gets to the first down, and they're going to go into the hurry up here, Ryan.
Yeah, maybe try to catch Charleston off guard. They take the timeout. Now you have 3 seconds. You're in maybe a Hail Mary position here. Matt South can definitely throw the ball. I think he could definitely get the ball there. And you have some great receivers in Harish Prasad, Heath McDaniel Jr., both of them able to make these big plays. We've seen Heath McDaniel go up for these big passes. So a Hail Mary is definitely possible here for Carolina, and that would be an insane way to cap off this first half.
And since we haven't called Prasad's name all day today, what a way to do it, maybe on a Hail Mary, right?
Maybe, we'll see.
South in the gun with Logan Jack and Freddie Greer off to his left and right. He's back to pass. He's going to look short over the middle. That's hauled in by Tony Zoma, and that'll take us to the end of the half where Carolina have the lead 14-10. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music here on Next Level Sports. We send it back to SFL headquarters for the halftime report presented by Cam and Mike when we come back.
Welcome to the APM Music Halftime Report along with Mike St. Green. I am Cameron Irvine. 14-10. Carolina leads Charleston at the half. Mike, kind of a odd first half for Charleston. Swearingen not really involved, but at the end of it, they're only down by 4.
Yeah, Cam, this is a solid first half for Carolina, and as you mentioned, we were wondering where was when we were going to get a Keith Swearingen sighting, and we did a little bit towards the end of the first half. But I think in this first half, Charleston they're going to look back and see a couple of missed opportunities in this ball game. Charleston was threatening early, had an interception in the end zone from Davison Joseph to kill the drive, and then also they had a drive where maybe had a questionable spot on a possible first down.
Yeah,
they chose not to challenge, and then turned out they missed a 48-yard field goal, so they came out empty-handed in that drive. But they did manage to come back late with a touchdown, and so we're sitting, with a pretty tight competitive ball game at halftime.
Yeah, really surprised that they did not challenge, and that they could have the lead at halftime if that drive would have ended differently. You're certainly right about that. We've got Baltimore up on Tulsa right now. We'll get to that game in just a second. But earlier this week, Mike and I sat down with Las Vegas fullback A-Star Miramontes, and she talked about her time at the convention, and we got a chance to get to know her a little bit better. Here's that interview. Today we have with us for the first time A-Star Miramontes, the Las Vegas fullback, and we're happy to have her along. She was at the convention with us last weekend, and we had a ton of fun. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Hey, A-Star, glad you could join us. And I did have an opportunity of meeting you this past weekend at the convention. And as I mentioned to you, I think your name, A-Star Miramontes, is one of the coolest names in this league, of very unique names. Some of them are tribute names. Some of them, are made up names that are pretty cool. But how did you come up with the name A-Star Miramontes? Is that a SFL alias, or how do we come to the name A-Star Miramontes?
As a matter of fact, I've never had a nickname growing up. I made that up myself, A-Star, from Astrid, my real name. And I thought it was fun, a nice, fun name to have.
Yeah, and it works. And you've been with Las Vegas for many years now, and seen the roller coasters, the ups and downs, and yeah, I mean, what's that like from your perspective as a player? I mean, you're close with the team owner, John Bond, so you kind of get it from both sides as a player, and then as just kind of seeing the back end of things as well.
Well, I've noticed how progressions really do make an impact. If you do forget it, you get in very big trouble. So as a player, knowing my weekly progressions, how important they are, I've realized, things don't work out your way if you don't continually submit them. I've noticed is it has taken a lot of tears, sweat, and a lot of time from the owner, John. I love watching this process now. I thought it was no big deal, just a little game. But you guys, everybody, not just John, everybody takes so much effort to put that playbook in. I like it. I feel important when I hear the name go on the screen too.
So I'm sure that's the whole point. That's the whole idea.
Do much, let's say, professional gaming, far as
Oh no, that gives me a panic attack. Gambling. I work very hard for my money.
You're not hitting the strip, and now John does some gambling, right?
Craps. Craps. He's a craps man. It is a very exciting game. We have won nicely, and we have lost not as nicely. But yes, he is definitely a craps man.
So what would you say was your biggest takeaway from the convention? A lot of first timers this year, including yourself. Yeah, what did you take away from it?
For me, it was just nice to get a face with a name and know who is talking. Sometimes you just hear the voices, like the announcers. That was nice, knowing who they are. And I love the fact that they came up to me, "Hi, I'm Tim Hackett," things of that sort. I love associating people's names to faces. I'm a people person.
Yeah, they knew who you were, for sure.
I got to sign books. I got to sign yearbooks, which was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, hey, that's great. Hey, we're super happy we got to meet you. We're super happy that you're in the league and that you're helping out Vegas, and hopefully Vegas can get back to the playoffs and find some more success. Tough start. Y'all got Vancouver this week too, but it's early. It's early.
I have faith. I really do. I really do. With all these sims running at the same time as I'm talking to you right now, I am running a sim on behalf of our owner. I'm putting in the hard work as well.
There you go. It is hard work. It's a grind. But hey, sweet jersey too. I love Vegas's gear. The purple always pops, or the bright pink, or whatever you would call it. But
loud, beautiful colors.
That's
excitement,
right.
Brightness.
Vegas, baby.
Yeah.
All right, A-Star, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Good luck this week, and we'll talk to you later.
It was a pleasure. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thanks, A-Star.
I'm muted. Forgive me. But yeah, it's always nice to interview the women of the SFL, the fullbacks, the undercards, the understudies of the SFL that don't necessarily make the box score. They're people too, We like to tell their stories as well.
Yeah, Cam, that's been one of the coolest things that we've been able to do at halftime over the past, season and a half is get to know some of the unsung heroes on their teams and, get to know their backgrounds and get their names out there. And, we met some great personalities over the course of the last 2 seasons.
Baltimore-Tulsa right now is 14-0 Baltimore, and Baltimore's inside the 10-yard line. Tulsa's in big trouble. This Baltimore team looks like a bona fide championship contender. And they are just cutting up the Tulsa defense right now. Mike, have you seen any signs of relief for the Desperados that they can hold on to?
Right now, Cam, no. Tulsa did start out the game pretty solid with a couple of 3-and-outs, but the thing is, when they had an opportunity, they had a couple of 3-and-outs of their own. Now Baltimore, the last couple of drives have gotten things rolling, and they look like well-oiled machine right now.
We'll keep you updated on that game as we go through the second half of Carolina and Charleston. Let's look at updated divisional standings around the league. It is early. It's just week 3. But Mike, let's start in the North, where that division has kind of surprisingly erupted with everybody above 500 right now.
Yeah, Cam, as you mentioned, it is a little early in the season, but, we're also at the quarter pole of the season. And this week we'll be a third of the way through the season. But, yeah, this North Division, a couple of surprising teams that are not, I guess, traditionally powerhouses in this division and in the league. London's 2-1. DC, they've come out strong this season. They're 2-1. So it's and also Queen City, yeah, they are the winningest franchise in the league, but no one expected them to be where they are right now, and they've come out solid with a solid 3-0 start to the season. So this division is going to come down to the end. I think weeks 11 and 12 are going to be huge with those interdivision matchups later in the season.
Fort Worth's got to have the biggest sense of urgency, right? They got 2 teams unbeaten in their division, and they're 0-3. They've got a date with Florida tomorrow, and Florida's 2-1 atop the Atlantic. That's a tough opponent to need a must-win against for the Toros.
Yeah, this season is starting to take shape. Teams are starting to, we're starting to get to see who these teams are. And, of course, Fort Worth was one of my teams, at least considered in my eyes as one of the best rosters in the league, but they did have a little turnover with the coaching. Maybe they're trying to get up to speed, but yeah, Florida is a tough matchup going up against, Max Paul and that great team over there, finalists from last season. Tough team to try to get yourself right against.
Yeah, absolutely. Baltimore, we'll see Florida, Fort Worth, tomorrow in bonus coverage. Baltimore just tacked on a field goal. They now lead Tulsa 17-0. In our game, it's 14-10. Carolina leads Charleston at the half. And when we come back, Tyler and Ryan will have the second half kickoff. Charleston gets the ball to start the second half. They can take the lead as Carolina is looking for revenge after Charleston eliminated Carolina in the last week of the season from the playoffs in season 16. For Mike, I'm Cam. This has been the APM Music Halftime Report, and we'll be back for second half action from Raleigh after this.
McBride and Zach Holdorf, our statisticians. Thanks to Cam and Mike for that halftime report, and we are underway here in the second half of action. Jay Taylor gets his return started from near his own goal line, tries to fight his way toward the far side, but is wrapped up and brought down to the 24. And on comes TD Drew and company for their first drive of the second half, Ryan. And they, as Cam mentioned in the halftime report, they could potentially take the lead here in the second half.
Yeah, they have an opportunity to make this game very interesting. If they can drive down the field, put together a good offensive drive, get some points on the board, Carolina going to have to be sweating and come back in this game.
First play from scrimmage will be TD Drew from the gun. He's going to look to pass, looks over the middle. That one's hauled in, but Buchanan Simons fumble the football. It's still loose, and it's finally picked up by a member of the Predators. That's going to vault forward and be a 2nd and 2.
Oh my goodness. This game's already starting off. The second half is starting off with a bang here. Everyone's got to be on the edge of their seat. I know I am. This game is on a knife's edge. It could go either way.
I believe that was Harold Keep, the tackle with the fumble recovery, which saves the opening drive for Charleston, and then Swearingen gets the carry, picks up the first down on only Swearingen's 4th attempt running the football today.
Yeah, it's a rare game for him. He's not getting a ton of involvement in the run game, more receptions than he has rushes.
Gun straight, all slants over the middle, pass is hauled in by Jay Taylor, and it's back-to-back first downs for these Predators.
Yeah, and they're using their receivers very well today. Jay Taylor, Buchanan Simons, Kim McCarrow, all getting a good share of the football. Taylor and Simons now at 5 receptions each. both of them over 60 yards on the day, and Macaro with 4 receptions for 40 yards. So TD Drew really spreading the ball out a lot, having a good game so far, and has a touchdown to his name as well, other than the interception, doing a good game.
Strong eye to the near side, only 6 men in the box to counter the run set, and indeed they will run with Swearingen, and it's a good pickup for the halfback, scampering forward for 6 yards.
And this is a change of pace from the first half of what we saw. They were throwing the ball a lot. Now they've ran Swearingen twice on this drive already. And so they're definitely getting him more involved, changing up the game plan a little bit, going back to one of their biggest strengths on offense.
Went from an offside eye look on first down. They go to the standard I formation here on second down. And again, another handoff for Swearingen. He'll pick up a good chunk of yards close to the sticks. They'll mark him just shy, 3rd and inches upcoming.
That was Mark Martin and Monte Wyatt there on the stop. And that was a key stop just before the line to gain. If they can get another stop here, if they can force an incompletion, something, that could be big for Carolina.
Passing formation here on 3rd and short. Drew has time, looks over the middle. That's hauled in by Buchanan Simons, who manages to hold on to the football this time, and it's a first down for the Predators.
Charleston, now they can maybe take a bit of a sigh of relief, seeing that his hands aren't slippery. He didn't get into some butter in halftime. He's doing fine now, and hopefully he can hang on to the ball.
Drew back to pass again, looking far side into coverage, and it's knocked aside. Davidson Joseph with the coverage.
Nearly picked that ball off. Carolina defense with a ton of pass deflections here today. Up at 6 already in this game. They've been able to get to these throws from TD Drew. They've gotten their hands on it. They've come away with 1 interception in this game so far.
Offset eye. Tight end flex to the right. Back to pass again here on second down. Swings it for Swearingen on the far side. He tries to run upfield, but is ushered out of bounds after a pickup of 6.
Yeah, now getting a good gain there, making that 2nd and 10 much more manageable. Now they're at a 3rd and 4. And you have a couple different options. Swearingen has been running pretty well in this half, in this drive so far. You could give him the ball. You could go through the air. You've been getting some surefire yards at those short yardage throws.
Charleston 2 of 2 on 3rd downs on the drive. They look to pass, and it'll be 3 of 3 on the drive as Drew finds Macaro for another first down.
Yeah, Macaro now getting involved in this drive, and we've seen just about everybody. The only people we haven't seen are the fullback and the tight end on this drive so far. Drew has been spreading the ball out through the air very well, very effectively today. It's hard for Carolina to keep up. They don't know who to cover, and they're still getting these first downs, and this drive is just keeping on chugging.
Pretty solid drive to start the second half. Pass far side, picked off, and they went outway one time on the drive, and this time Davidson Joseph makes him pay. That is TD Drew's 2nd interception on the ball game.
Yeah, Joseph nearly had a pick on the same play earlier. This time he's able to bring it down, in an amazing play there for Joseph. If he doesn't make that play, if he doesn't catch that ball, that is going to be a touchdown for Simons all day, because he had beat him. He had beat him over the top, but no, Joseph won the battle, gets the interception. Carolina gets the ball in this game. It turned on its head yet again.
South going to look to throw here on first down. We'll find Logan Jack spinning away from 1, juking out of a man out of his shoes for 2 broken tackles, and he picks up 8 on the play.
He's going to need to go buy some new laces after that one. He got completely unstrung there by Logan Jack, making a great move. And so many times it seems like he's going to get hit in the backfield, hit for only a gain of 1, and he's able to make an amazing move, turn it into a big gain.
Look to pass again here. Logan Jack tipped up in the air, and if the defender may have been just a step further down the field, that could have been a pick 6.
Yeah, that was a very dangerous drop there. Tried to play the tip drill, tried to corral that ball, because he knows if he gets that ball in his hands, he can be very dangerous, but he couldn't corral it. couldn't hang on to it. Nearly very dangerous. Now you have a 3rd and 2 here.
Carolina come out in the power I. They'll look to run with Jack for the first. He'll spin out a 1. Stutter steps to the 26 and falls down near the 30-yard line.
And it seems like we've seen a lot of Logan Jack, but the yardage numbers aren't there. But it's not like he's not getting any production. It's not like he's not moving the chains. He's been catching the ball a lot, getting a ton of receptions for some good yardage there when they need it. And he's getting these amazing runs where he's able to find these lanes, make a good move, and get the first down. Logan Jack is having a very impressive game here today.
I formation on this fresh set of downs. 2 wide receivers spread out to the right. South looking over the middle into coverage, and it's going to flutter and fall to the ground. Harish Prasad with trying to get in on the action with his first target of the ball game results in an incomplete pass.
Prasad has been uncharacteristically quiet here today. Charleston must have game planned for him. They've got some defenders on him at all times. But luckily for Carolina, Heath McDaniel Jr. has been able to step up in his wake.
All right, set again. They'll run to the left this time, and Logan Jack can't get away from the tackle brought down at the line of scrimmage by Joseph Sabulka. Excuse me.
Yeah, big stop there, and Logan Jack, he has been so hard to bring down today, especially in the backfield. It seems like if he's in the backfield, he gets extra slippery. He gets an extra spin move to his name, but that time he was able to get brought down behind the line.
3-2 dime package for the Predators to counter the 4 wide set. Deep ball over the middle. Halted! Harish Prasad with a catch! And that's how you get in the action. A huge game, and just like that, the Carolina offense flips the script.
Yeah, it's halftime. Prasad is back from his nap, and he is awake, boy. He goes all the way down the field with a huge gain for Carolina. They're now in the red zone here, nearing the end zone, trying to find their way into an even bigger lead, and Prasad gets involved in a huge way with a massive 50-yard gain.
And all of that running took a whole lot out of him. He's going to go sit on the bench for this next play as South will look to pass. Takes his time, has no more time, and is taken down for a sack.
Yeah, he thought he had a little more time than was actually given to him. He gets the pump fake, but that is enough to spell his doom as he gets sacked after the big play, after the huge gain from Prasad. And now they've just taken a little bit of a hiccup. They're going to have to come back on this second down, get some of that deficit, or find their way into the end zone.
Will Hammer and John Lawley come up with the sack. So Lawley now has 1 total sack on his young career. Pass near side. That one's hauled in by Tony Zoma, and it'll bring up a big 3rd down and 12 after the huge passing reception to Harish Prasad.
Yeah, a little bit of a stall out here on this next set of downs. But now you have a 3rd and 12. It's not over yet. And Matt South has been throwing the ball so well today. Over 200 yards. And he could take a shot to the end zone.
Alvarez backs off trying to stop the deep route. South under pressure, and he's taken down again. Got back near his own, or the Charleston 31 comes Dick Baker. 4th and 22, and South, for one of the few times that so far this season, has been sacked multiple times. He was only sacked twice in the first 3 games.
What an impressive drive there from Charleston. Their defense really stepped up on this drive. They were able to stop Logan Jack. They were able to get to the quarterback. That's exactly what they needed to do on defense.
So Jones looking to remain perfect on the season. The kick is up and it is good. And Carolina tack on 3 more points. Visit the SFL website at simulationfl.net for links to apparel from Sector 6, the official apparel provider of the Simulation Football League, and SFL mini helmets from 97 Sports Promotions. Sector 6 features replica team jerseys and completely customized jackets, flags, t-shirts, and more. Get the gear the fans wear with Sector 6, 97 Sports Promotions, and the SFL. Whistle Jones will get us going again as he'll boot it down to Jay Taylor, who stands with 1 foot in the end zone. Tries to make a good return to the near side, angles, but is taken down at the 26, and we'll send it back to SFL HQ for another game break. Cam, what you got for us?
Thanks, Tyler. Mike, no stopping the number one scoring offense.
Yeah, Cam, after Tulsa it came down and gotten a field goal on the previous drive. Baltimore goes on a long drive of their own, capped it off with a Jack Wigmore touchdown pass to Ivory Irvin, and Baltimore increases the lead.
24-3 all Vultures today. Back to Raleigh. Drew's going long.
And nearly picked off as it was Shavon Prasad, who again cannot come up with the catch. Another drop pass from him.
Yeah, and a key drop pass, too. They need to start off this drive swinging. I mean, Carolina, they now have a 7-point lead. You need to get back into the end zone and quick. Time's going to run out quicker on you than you expect. This game's going fast.
Now 2nd and 10 from their own 26. After the deep pass, they'll go with a run to the far side with Swearingen, who breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle, and then is finally trucked down at the 35. Good pickup, about 9.5, and it makes 3rd down a whole lot sweeter.
This is what we've kind of wanted to see here from Charleston today. They moved away earlier towards the passing game, away from the run game. Now Swearingen getting more involved. They're getting some positive yardage.
They'll run it again with Swearingen, who jukes out to the far side, has a lane, and then is finally brought down from behind by Prasad at the 49.
And he is so fast. I mean, the speed once he gets to the outside is amazing. He got past the line of scrimmage, and he just got so much faster, putting on the afterburners and getting a big gain for Charleston.
Use of downs from the 49 with just under 3 minutes left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Drew back to pass, has time, finds his man there in the flat, but it's going to be taken down for a loss of 2. Great containment by the man who came away with the pick earlier, Davidson Joseph.
Sutherland getting a reception, but for not Joseph having a great game so far. Couple path deflections, the interception, now a TFL. He's going for the trifecta, maybe getting a sack here later too.
Swearingen goes nowhere as it's Phil Hall coming up with the tackle for loss, and that tackle ties him for 21st all-time in terms of total tackles for loss in a career.
A long career here with Carolina. Here 9 seasons. Really impressive stuff. Been a core piece to that defensive line, and they're looking for another stop here.
5 wide on 3rd and long. Deep pass, far side, one-handed grab from Buchanan Simons. And here come the Predators. They're deep into Carolina territory.
Yeah, this battle between Buchanan Simons and Davidson Joseph has been amazing today. I mean, Simons has been able to get the best of him, but Joseph got the pick earlier. He has had deflections, and that time going over Joseph's stretched hand into the one hand of Buchanan Simons. Beautiful throw and catch from Charleston.
Through a man of the gun this time, he's got Swearingen and Sutherland for company. Looking over the middle again. That one's going to be in and out of the hands of the intended target, Taylor, and I'll bring up 2nd down. Visit the SFL's YouTube channel at youtube.com/SimulationFL for an archive of every game, every draft, every moment you might have missed since the Simulation Football League got its start in 2013. SFL YouTube features top 10 plays of the week, archived people behind players segments, and all the major milestones in league history. Power eye set here on 2nd down for the Predators. Only 6 men in the box. They'll look to run with Swearingen, and he cannot go nowhere. No gain, and they'll bring up 3rd down. But first, we have another game break from Baltimore. Cam and Mike, what you have?
Thanks, Tyler. Mike, Tulsa's offense getting it in groove right before the half.
Yeah, Cam, Tulsa saying, hey, we're not dead yet. Don't count us out. JQ hits Gabriel Manning on a nice little out route, puts Tulsa in the end zone, and then they bring it a little closer, 24-10, right before the half.
Nice route for Gabe, and Charleston's drive stalls. Carolina holding on to a thin margin as Baltimore's margin thins before the half. Back to Tyler and Raleigh.
Thanks, Cam. Thanks, Mike. And my goodness, Ryan, it's that battle you were talking about between the corners and Buchanan Simons. This time, it ends up in a victory for those corners.
Yeah, Mark Martin getting a great deflection there, stalling out this drive for Charleston.
Now we'll see Brad Brechet, who's 1 of 2 today. This one from 49, from the right hash. He missed from 48 earlier. Snap spot kick is up, and it is good. He just had enough, and Charleston tacks on 3.
Yeah, Brad Brechet redeeming himself from that earlier kick that was offline. Had plenty of juice in it last time, just offline. This time has just enough kick, and it's perfectly online. They get the field goal. They cut the deficit just a little bit. We saw earlier Carolina got a field goal. Now Charleston has erased that. They've kept this 4-point deficit, and it's at a point where they can stop Carolina. They can come back at any point. They're keeping this game close. They're keeping themselves in it.
Saad with the return. A good little nifty return is going to get him up to the 30-yard line. Coverage of the Simulation Football League 17th season on Next Level Sports continues next Saturday, same time, same place, as the Florida Storm welcome the Mexico City Aztecs in the 12th meeting between old school foes at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. That drama will be followed by a Pacific clash between unbeaten Vancouver and top division challenger Los Angeles. Bonus coverage will include a rematch between Atlanta and London, plus DC visiting Louisiana. It all comes your way next Saturday on Next Level Sports. First play for Matt South and company is going to result in a nice little pass from Harish Prasad, who was extremely quiet. Nothing doing in the first half. 3 targets and 2 big receptions here in the second half.
Yeah, Prasad has come online, and Charleston needs to be sweating here on defense. They had some trouble with McDaniel early on. He had that big reception earlier for 36 yards. Now they have Prasad that they have to deal with.
The last play of the third quarter, pass underneath. That's hauled in by Heath McDaniel Jr. for a pickup of 6. And that should just about do it here in the third quarter. Carolina 17, Charleston 13 in the Battle of the Carolinas. Get your 4s up in chat. This is the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. The Simulation Football League is presented by APM Music. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. Now on third down, Carolina comes out in the gun. Two wide receivers to Matt South's left, along with Logan Jack. Back to pass, scanning over the middle, trying to find Prasad, and Prasad cannot haul that in as it was jarred loose, and it's a fourth down upcoming.
Yeah, he got hit by a swarm of defenders there and could not hang on to the ball. And this would be a really long field goal. They're going to have to punt here. And this is the stop Charleston needed. Like I was saying earlier, at any given moment, they can score and turn this game around, take the lead, and this is their opportunity to do it.
For one of the few times today, Mike Johnson is on to punt this one away. As we'll see Jay Taylor try to make a return out of it, maybe only a yard on the return up to the 21, and on comes the Predators offense. Now they're only down by 4, Ryan, but that's more than enough to keep a lead, especially when you're playing against a very tough Carolina defense.
Yeah, Carolina defense has been on it today, especially in the passing game. They've been getting a lot of deflections. The corners have been having a great battle with these great receivers of Charleston, and this could come down to the wire.
I formation, tight end flexed off to the left. Carolina show blitz, and they'll bring the blitz. Swearingen finds a hole and spinning away from a couple defenders. It's a pickup of 16 yards on the carry.
Yeah, and great blocks there by the defensive line, opening up the gap for him. And even though the blitz was coming from Carolina, even though they had the whole set coming for them, Swearingen able to find the hole created by his guard and able to get a huge gain for Charleston.
Already a much better performance from Swearingen. Last week, 17 carries, only 16 yards, and so being over 60 yards here in this football game is a much needed reprieve from last week's struggles, as that pass is knocked aside by Mark Martin.
Mark Martin getting involved here in the secondary. Later on in the game, he had that big deflection earlier that stalled out the drive for Charleston. Now getting another one here on first down. He's been very active among these other cornerbacks in this game for Carolina.
Charleston will come out in the near formation. Nickel set on for Carolina. Drew takes a quick drop, looking over the middle to Buchanan Simons, and that's hauled in and across the 50 down to the 47-yard line.
And that's what they call a bang route, because Buchanan Simons got that ball and then bang, he was hit by the receiver there. Great throw and catch. He takes a hit, but he will take that hit every time if that means he's getting a first down for his team, moving the chains, getting them closer to the end zone, and he is having an amazing game so far. 8 receptions, over 100 yards. He's going off today.
See if they can keep up the momentum here on this fresh set of downs. Drew looking far side. That's going to be the tight end, Terrell Sutherland, on the catch. But for the first time today, we got some laundry on the field, and that might have been a late hit.
Could be a late hit, could be a face mask. I think they're going to go with the late hit there at the end of the play. And yeah, Chad Stinson making a rare mistake in this game, and that is not what they need. You're ahead. You cannot give them any leads. And Simons was way out of bounds there. Just a late hit, and it is going to cost Carolina.
With this already only being the only penalty in the football game, this might have huge implications for the rest of this football game with 9 minutes, 15 seconds left to play in regulation. Drew back to pass, pressure coming, looking toward the end zone. It's a wide open Ken Maccaro, and Charleston take the lead.
And just like that, you see the game change on its head. Carolina has had the lead almost all game today. And now here in the fourth quarter, Charleston, they get a penalty go their way, and they attack Carolina in the end zone. They take the lead, and Carolina going to be sweating here. They're going to have to recover this on offense. They're going to have to find a way to get some points on the board, but Charleston answers back in such a huge way here in the fourth quarter.
Carolina is immediately made to pay for their mistake by Chad Stinson. And now here's Brad Burchett on to attempt the extra point. Snap spot. The kick is up and it is good. Carolina have the lead 20-17. We'll come back with the kickoff after a few words from our sponsors. This is the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. Welcome back to Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm Tyler Falk alongside Ryan Caudill, Ike McBride, and Zach Holder for our statisticians today. Thank you both for joining us, and thank you to everyone watching from home or wherever you might be watching us from today on Next Level Sports. Glad to have you here as Broussard's kick return gets up to the 29-yard line, and we shoot it back to SFL HQ with Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green for another game break.
Thank you, Tyler. Mike, Tulsa roaring back.
Yeah, Cam, Tulsa, they're in full comeback mode right here, following a nice scramble by JQ. He hits the DJ Hume. He goes up for a pass here, brings it in. Tulsa's back in the game, 24-17.
7-pointer, 3-pointer in Raleigh. Back to Tyler and Ryan at David A. Richardson.
Thanks, Cam. Logan Jack gets the call on first down, picks up 4. And what I've just been noticing from these game breaks, Ryan, is Tulsa's rookie quarterback, JQ, has been able to pick himself up from that maybe subpar first half and start to drive down the football field. That game's getting interesting. Again, only down by 7. Anything can happen late on in that football game. Meanwhile, here in our South's back to pass, looking for a wide open out route to the far side. That's Heath McDaniel Jr., and that's going to pick up the first down yards and more, down to their own 44.
Yeah, and this 1-2 punch of McDaniel and Prasad has been really good for Carolina today. Prasad not super active, but he had that huge play that got them, to getting another score. And Prasad and McDaniel has been consistent across the board, getting these shorter routes, getting a big route every now and then.
Opposite eye behind Matt South as he'll look to throw on first down, tipped up in the air, and it's going to fall incomplete as John Stamango with the deflection.
Yeah, Charleston has come to play here in the secondary, getting involved yet again, deflecting another pass from Matt South. And Charleston, that's what they need to do here. I mean, they just took the lead. You need to protect it. You need to make a stop, get the ball in your hands, prevent Carolina from scoring. At the bottom line, Carolina cannot score on this drive, or it will be terrible for Charleston. It's going to be, though they do have another offensive possession, it's going to be very hard for Carolina, for Charleston to come back.
Carolina looking to maintain the series advantage. Currently, the series stands 4-3 in favor of Carolina. South back to pass, deep bomb, near side, deflected, fantastic coverage from the cornerback, Corey Menor, and it's going to bring up third down.
And a really hard play to make there for Menor as well. I mean, that was an absolute bullet coming out of the hands of Matt South. And covering Harish Prasad is no joke. He's able to get up there with Prasad, get a body part on the ball, get a deflection, and that was huge for this defense.
Big third down for Carolina. Gun straight package, again looking the near side, and again knocked away. This time again, it's going to be Corey Menor with the deflection, and they'll force the fourth down.
Again, going to Prasad, they tried to do the exact same thing again, and Menor was wise to it yet again, making a great play on the ball, forcing an incompletion. Carolina, they're going to have to punt here, and this is going to be really bad for Carolina if Charleston scores. If Charleston can capitalize on this turnover on downs, or on this turnover of possession, that could be huge for them.
Mike Johnson's punt is away. Fair catch called for by Jay Taylor at the 22, and that's safely hauled in. And Charleston went and paid back Carolina for their late hit penalty, the only penalty of this football game last time out. Now a big drive here could result in them taking this game by the horns.
Yeah, if they get a touchdown here, that'll really set the tempo. That'll put Carolina on the back foot and put Charleston in a very commanding position.
Our eyes set. They'll go power, run the left side with Swearingen, but Swearingen only able to pick up one before he's taken down by Chad Stinson.
Yeah, Stinson having a good game so far, being involved in all facets across the board, even has a forced fumble to his name. So a great game from this Carolina defense today.
2nd and 9 now. 2 wide receivers left, 2 tight ends right. Back to pass, stepping up in the pocket, into double coverage, picked off and going the other way. Stinson looking to make up for what he did last time out, and that's a huge pick.
Yeah, you said it. He caused the flag earlier, caused the Charleston touchdown because of it, and now he's able to redeem himself on the tip drill. Shravan Prasad puts it up in the air, and Stinson grabs it. He's able to get an interception, and adding to the impact that he has had on the field, the forced fumble. He's been involved in coverage, involved in the run game, now getting an interception to his name, and it could not have come at a better time for Carolina.
And they'll start in excellent field position already in the red zone. South looking near side. That's hauled in by Harish Prasad, and it's a pickup of 4 to the 14. Coverage of the Simulation Football League's 17th season on For the Fans continues tomorrow, starting at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, with the Louisiana Revolution and former Glory players welcoming their old team in the Lone Star Glory to the Bayou. The doubleheader will also feature a rematch of last season's overtime thriller between the DC Dragons and the Mexico City Aztecs. Bonus coverage will include Jacksonville and London, plus Florida and Fort Worth. It all comes your way tomorrow on For the Fans. Deep ball by Matt South, and it's a touchdown! It's a huge play. They make them pay after the pick, and it's Heath McDaniel Jr. with the touchdown.
Almost immediately capitalizing on that interception, Carolina seized the opportunity, and they seized it. They find Heath McDaniel Jr. in the end zone just to add a star to his amazing day so far. Puts him over 100 yards, gives him a touchdown, and Carolina is in a very strong position here. They're able to get that touchdown, take the lead back yet again. Charleston, they just had it. They were just a field goal ahead of Charleston, ahead of Carolina. The Skyhawks take the lead. They're back in the driver's seat.
Snap, spot, whistle. Jones's kick is good, and Carolina regain the lead, retake that 4-point advantage they had earlier. It's 24-20. Now, what can the Charleston Predator defense do? They'll wait the kick by Whistle Jones. Jay Taylor will get his return started from near the 5-yard line, trying to get away from a would-be tackler. Can't do it. And they'll start their drive for the second straight drive on their 22.
And they've got to pick it up. I mean, they've got to get into the end zone. Carolina having a 4-point lead here leads Charleston where a field goal is not going to be enough. And I think at this point, you totally could go down, get a field goal, and then trust your defense. But that is a lot of trust that you have to have on them.
Drew back to pass here to start the drive, and it's going to be knocked away. Siobhan Prasad gets his mitts in front of Buchanan Simons to knock that one away.
Yeah, extending his long arms, Simons thought he would have had the ball right in the breadbasket, right in his stomach. But Shravan Prasad is able to come through, use the speed, use the big arms, knock the ball away on a big first down.
Now they'll come out in a strong I formation to the near side. Maybe looking to pass on a little swing route to Swearingen far side. In fact, they will. He spins away from one, and Prasad makes the tackle. It's a huge hit on Swearingen as he's only able to pick up 3.
Yeah, Carolina's been ready for that package. Charleston, they'll run that strong set with the offset eye to the near side, and they'll drop back the pass. They'll send those tight ends out, and they'll run a screen. And Carolina's been very wise to it today.
Offset eye this time, 3 wide receivers. Drew looking to pass over the middle, and it's deflected away. Kane Vasquez, who already has an interception today, knocks that aside, and it's a 3-and-out for the Predators.
And that is disastrous for the Predators. They needed to capitalize. Carolina just scored a touchdown. They needed to go down and do the exact same thing. Reassert yourself, retake that lead. But instead, a great stand by the Carolina defense. They're going to get the ball back, and they're in a position where they can maybe put this game out of reach.
Wally Saddle will punt this one away from his 10-yard line. Just does get it away, and Prasad will elect to take the return. He tries to juke a man out of his shoes at the 40-yard line and is taken down at the 42. Now comes the Carolina offense. Now can just elect to milk as much of this clock away with 5:58 left to go.
Yeah, and they're content to do that. They've been running the ball with Logan Jack quite a bit today. They could go to do that today again on this play. Matt South in the shotgun, though.
Jack has over 70 rushing yards on the day. Looks to be a season high for him as they'll look to pass far side, and that's nearly intercepted and nearly caught at the same time. Sam Avalos, who's been quiet since the first quarter, trying to get in on the action.
And that was a weird ball there. It looked like it went through the hands of the defender there, then bounced off of Avalos's shoulder pad maybe. Very close play, could have gone either way. Luckily for Carolina, it just falls to the turf harmlessly.
Definitely not taking the old school approach and running the football out. They're electing to pass the football to run out this clock. They'll go to Logan Jack on the swing pass. He tries to escape one and does before Jack Brown knocks him down after picking up 2 yards, and that'll bring up a quick 3rd down.
Yeah, definitely a choice for them to go for a pass on 1st down. They ended up not completing that, so the clock doesn't run down. I think they wanted to get into field goal range, try to put some points on the board.
Gun straight, all slants. Play, it's going to find Sam Avalos, and Sam Avalos is having a great day at the office. His 3rd reception of the ball game.
Yeah, all of these receivers really getting involved. The only person who hasn't had a catch is the tight end, Vince DeSantis, who has kind of been overshadowed by Tony Zoma, who has 5 receptions. And Avalos is silently having a great game alongside Prasad and McDaniel, who are both popping off. I mean, Carolina's offense is really firing on all cylinders.
4 wideouts here on this 1st down. South near side. That one's hauled in, and what a good turn and move there from Vince DeSantis. He said it earlier, he didn't have a reception. There's his first catch of the ball game.
Said you said my name? Oh, here, I'll catch this. Make a great spin move and get a solid gain for Carolina. Now he's gotten involved. They've gotten every receiver on the chart involved here for Carolina.
Come out in this heavy front. Again, they like to run this little swing pass out to the near side. Again, they'll run it to Logan Jack, and Jack this time can't get away from the tackle. John Stamango comes up and brings him down behind the line of scrimmage.
And here approaching this 3rd and 4, a conversion would be big for them. But now you kind of have to think, is Carolina, if they don't get this, is that field goal makeable? Is that in his range? It's about a 51-yard field goal from this current spot. So that would be a tough kick for Whistle Jones.
He's made last week a long of 51, so might be just inside his range. We'll have to see. Maybe they pick up a couple yards and ask him to come on the field. They'll run with Jack to the far side. He tries to get away from the defender. He does get away from one, but Jack Brown stops him before the line to gain, and it's 4th down. On comes the kicking unit.
Yeah, great stop there by Jack Brown. And Logan Jack is not an easy guy to bring down. I've said it before, I'll say it again. He has this amazing spin move where he's able to make you look so silly. And when he gets to the outside, he's dangerous, he's contained, and now it is a little bit of a closer field goal. This could be a little easier for Whistle Jones.
They had one from 50 last week. This one also from 50 from the right hash to go up by a touchdown. Snap, spot, kick is up. It's on its way, and it is through the uprights and good. Whistle Jones remains perfect on the season, and Carolina take a 7-point lead.
And it was a close kick, too. I think those extra 2 yards that Jack gained on that run could have been the difference. It may have made it from further. That was a great kick from Whistle Jones. There's a reason why he is one of the better kickers, and he has been perfect this season. And he is able to come through in a clutch spot for Carolina. And now Charleston, even if they get a touchdown on this drive, they're just going to tie the game. Carolina is in a great spot right now.
Jay Taylor gets the return started, has blockers up the middle, and that's a very good return compared to his last two. He gets to the 28-yard line, and now comes the Charleston offense here, Ryan. They have plenty of time, and we know what Buchanan, Simons, and company can do, especially in clutch scenarios. They're going to need another clutch performance here late in this football game.
This is where moments are made. This is where star players can shine. If Simons can get open, he can do some damage.
Empty backfield, Drew under center, deep drop, looking near side, tipped up in the air, and incomplete. Davidson Joseph, who has a pick today, again nearly picks that one off.
And this battle between Simons and Joseph just keeps getting better. I mean, coming down to the wire, even before this, they have had their battles. Joseph had gotten an interception, but Simons has had some big plays today. And when it coming down to it, Joseph is getting it done right there on that play. But here's another one. They're covered against each other again, one-on-one.
Got to inflex the left eye formation here on second down. Drew takes a quick drop this time, looking over the middle. That one's hauled in and will pick up 8 yards. Ken Maccaro on the reception, and they're going to hustle back to the line.
Yeah, that one-on-one at the bottom of your screen is going to be key here if they can hit Simons.
Another pass to Maccaro. He's got room to run, and he spins away from a couple tackles, taken down at the 49. Clock continues to run, under 2.5 to go. Drew again takes a quick drop. This time, swing pass to Swearingen near side. He'll pick up about 2 before being tackled by David Ware. 2nd and 8 coming up. Again, they'll continue to hustle back to the line of scrimmage. Last play before the 2-minute warning if they can get it off. Another quick drop. Drew over the middle. That's caught by Buchanan Simons on a crossing yard over the middle. And that will take us to the 2-minute warning. Charleston on the march, trying to tie up this football game late here in the 4th. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by 8 p.m. Music on Next Level Sports. Coming up on the post-game update, we'll send you to bonus coverage of Tulsa, Baltimore, and then back to SFL Studios, where Cameron Irvine, Mike St. Green will analyze Charleston and Carolina and preview the remaining slate of games today, including the second game of our Next Level Sports doubleheader, Arizona at Denver. It's all coming up on the post-game update, as the first play from scrimmage results in a nice little swing pass to Swearingen, resulting in 3 yards, and they're going to hustle back to the line. TD Drew in the gun, Swearingen and Sutherland accompany him in the backfield. Back to pass again, looking over the middle. That's hauled in, Jay Taylor, and they're into the SFL red zone.
Yeah, Charleston looking dangerous. I think they should hurry up a little bit, but maybe I shouldn't say that because they need to have just enough time here. They have enough time where they can get into the end zone, but you don't want to give Carolina any time where if you can get a touchdown, you don't want them to be able to go down and get into field goal range.
Drew in the gun again on first down, looking over the middle again, but this time in and out of the hands. Monte Wyatt, the free safety, circling with the Sky Gang, and that's going to be incomplete.
Very dangerous throw there from TD Drew. There were quite a few defenders in the area. Could have been picked, but luckily for them it was not, and it also falls to the turf. Stops the clock. They have some time to collect themselves, get in a different package, and go again.
Minute and change left to go in regulation. 2 wide receivers left, 2 tight ends on the line to the right. Drew back to pass, looking in the end zone. He's got his man, Ken Macaro! Touchdown, Charleston! An extra point will tie this ball game.
Wow. I mean, this game has been insane, back and forth. Charleston finally here in the fourth quarter, they were able to get the lead, and now they're able to tie it up with just a minute to go. Carolina, they're going to get the ball back. They need to get down to the end zone and finish this game off, but Charleston had just made this fourth quarter a whole lot more interesting.
And the disrespect, a la Randy Moss from Ken McCarroll as he moons the Carolina faithful, and the boos cry out. Brad Brachette on to attempt the extra point. High snap is corralled, snap spot, and indeed, we are tied.
Oh my goodness. This game is coming down to the wire. We knew it was going to be a close one going into this. Both of the teams need to win this game. The posturing later on in the season is going to mean so much. Charleston is going to be a much different team if they're 3-1 versus 2-2. And Carolina, they're going to have much less ground to make up if they come out 2-2 rather than 1-3. Both of these teams need this win today, and you can tell.
Rashad on the return, angles near side, and he's going to be taken down at the 27, as we'll send it back to SFL headquarters as Baltimore is running away with it, Cam.
Thank you, Tyler. Yeah, too many weapons for the Vultures today.
Yeah, Cam, Tulsa's really put up a good effort, believe it or not. But yeah, Mac Cheeman with his second touchdown reception here. Baltimore flexing their muscles, going up by 3 scores.
Chima, Holder, Irvin, everybody's got a touchdown today for the Vultures. They're on their way to 4-0.
South back to pass. And that's going to find his target. That's going to be a good pickup of 4. Thanks, Cam and Mike, for that update, as Carolina now has a job to do. Under 45 seconds to go. South back to pass. It's going to be a swing pass near side for Logan Jack. He spins away from one but stays in bounds, and Carolina are forced to use a timeout.
Yeah, some running backs would go out of bounds there, but Jack went for the first down, nearly got it, but got those extra yards. If he goes out of bounds, that's only a gain of 1 or 2 yards. He makes a move, able to take it upfield, make this third down a lot closer. And this is actually a very big first down for Carolina.
First reception of the drive was made by Mike Oden's son, one of the backup wide receivers, as that pass will go to Harish Prasad, and that one's hauled in. Some nice toad egg strag as he makes the catch, falls out of bounds, stop the clock with 38 to go.
A veteran receiver right there, dragging his toes, making that catch right where he needs to, and immediately getting out of bounds. Stopping that clock. They have 40 seconds. They need to go about 20-25 yards to get into field goal range. 3
wide receivers, South under center. Logan Jack in the backfield. Steps up, tries to find his target near side, and Jack Brown could have come away with a huge interception. Instead, it's second down.
Yeah, Jack Brown nearly made this game completely different, adding on to his total of pass deflections here today. Now at 2, and he has been all over the place, making some great stops in the backfield and coverage as well.
9 pass deflections for this Charleston Predator defense. Just absolutely insufferable. Deep pass over the middle. That's hauled in at the 44. Making the grab was Heath McDaniel Jr., and they'll hurry back to the line. South stands in the pocket, has time over the middle, and it's deflected again. Jack Hoffman this time on the deflection, making an even 10 deflections for this defense. And they have 18 seconds left to go in regulation.
Yeah, and this is a very long field goal. This would be 60 yards, way out of Whistle Jones's range. They need to pick up about 9-10 yards. If they can get a first down, they're going to be in field goal range. You have the timeouts. Now is the time to do it.
Gun straight package on the field for Carolina. Can they get into field goal range? Pass over the middle. That's caught short of the sticks. That's Tony Zoma. And right there at the 35, just on the edge of field goal range. And it's a huge third down upcoming.
That was exactly what Carolina needed to do on that play. Get the 10 yards. Get that chunk of yardage you need to make this field goal possible. Now, here's what they need. They have 14 seconds. Run the ball with Logan Jack. See if he can get that field goal. No, they're just going to go for the field goal here.
He's made a couple from 50 today. Whistle Jones with the entire state of Carolina on his shoulders. Can he be the hero? Snap, spot, kick is up. It has the distance and it has the accuracy. It's good. Carolina lead 30-27.
9 seconds to go. Charleston is gonna need a miracle to come back in this game, and that could be the dagger from the Skyhawks. They needed this win today, and they were very decisive throughout this game. They had drive after drive of excellent plays from the receivers. Matt South was hitting his throws. Logan Jack was doing his thing, putting on the spin cycle, making some guys work for it. And the defense for Carolina, the secondary has been outstanding. Davidson Joseph has had an amazing game. 14 pass deflections from that team, 3 interceptions. I mean, Carolina has been across the board looking so good today.
Charleston are now going to need a hope and a prayer. 5 seconds with all 3 timeouts. If they can maybe make a quick pass, they'll be in a better spot to maybe hoof it down the field for the Hail Mary. But it looks like TD Drew is going to come out under center. 2 wide receivers to his left, 2 to his right. Big time plays are needed here. Drew looking near side. That's picked off! Davidson Joseph with his second pick of the game seals it for Carolina. They take their revenge after being knocked out of playoff contention last season, and Carolina escape with the victory.
A long off season. They've been waiting for this moment. A long off season. They've been waiting to get the game-winning interception. And who else but Davidson Joseph? He's been having an amazing game in the secondary. He has been reading Buchanan Simons like a book all game long, getting these huge deflections and getting an insane interception at the perfect time. Carolina, they just need to kneel it. They're going to win this game, and what an amazing performance from the Skyhawks.
No heartbreak today. Carolina with the victory. 30-27. That's gonna move them to 500 at 2-2, and Charleston will also go to 500 at 2-2. But it's those turnovers, Ryan, that really made the difference.
Yeah, you can see it. The proof is in the pudding there in the writing. 4 turnovers for Charleston, and that definitely was the difference. They were able to get some big turnovers, one of them in the end zone. That negated a drive, that negated a score from Charleston. And that's the difference, really. I mean, it could have been 3 points, it could have been 7, but that was the difference, is getting these interceptions. And Davidson Joseph sealing off the game with an interception was very fitting for the performance that this secondary has had in this game. TD Drew came out with a pass attack. He threw for 380 yards today and found all his receivers, 2 receivers over 100 yards. But this secondary was able to make these plays, make these big deflections, and they stepped up when they needed to. And that is what is most important. I mean, across the board from Carolina today, they performed so well. They looked so dominant. Heath McDaniel Jr. went over 100 yards. Matt South threw for over 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. Had an interception to his name, but ultimately it didn't end up mattering. Across the board, Carolina dominated today.
And so the streak of away victors in this series goes away as Carolina takes home the victory. That's their first home victory against Charleston since October 7th, 2019, and that'll extend their series lead to 5-3. Carolina is going to stay at home to wrap up this 2-game homestand versus Tulsa. Charleston will face Fort Worth back at home, ending their 2-game road trip. Ryan, who's your player of the game today?
Oh, I could pick anybody. I mean, I think Matt South had a great game. Logan Jack, I think, is going to end up getting in. I think Davidson Joseph would be an amazing contender for player of the game. He really had some game-changing plays and some game-changing interceptions in this game. I think my 3 candidates would be Matt South or Davidson Joseph, but I think it's going to be Logan Jack.
And it's going to be Matt South, who had a spectacular day, 2 touchdowns, and completing close to 70% of his passes. For Ryan Caudill, Ike McBride, Zach Holder, and the Commissioner Cam Irvine, thank you for joining us here today from Raleigh, North Carolina. After the break, we'll send you back to SFL headquarters where Cam and Mike will break down this game and the Tulsa-Baltimore game. But for everyone here and myself, Tyler Falk, thank you so much for joining us. And until next time, good morning, good afternoon, and good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome into Sim Football Post Game along with Mike St. Green. I'm Cameron Irvine, and Carolina wins a thriller, 30-27. That was super exciting and somewhat redemption for Carolina, Mike, after they lost by the exact same score on Convention Week last week, 30-27.
Yeah, Cam, I couldn't have picked a better weekend to get back into the virtual studios and catch all this great SFL action, man. Yeah, Carolina redeemed themselves from a heartbreaking loss last weekend. But we're becoming accustomed to these type of matchups between these two rivals in Charleston and Carolina, man. And what a great game it was today. Davidson Joseph had a huge game, 3 interceptions, one of those in the end zone to take away a touchdown in the first half. And also, man, Matt South had a great game as well, 315 yards passing, a couple of touchdowns. And Charleston gave a great effort, but they just couldn't seem to, get over the hump and keep Carolina in check.
Yeah, that's become must-watch football over there in between South Carolina and North Carolina. Baltimore has also become much-watch football because they score 40 every week. They are the number 1 offense in the SFL, and they tore up Tulsa in the second half, pulled away. At one point, that game was 24-17, and Baltimore scored the last 21 points and sent the Desperados to 1-3. Baltimore, your first 4-0 team this season.
Yeah, Cam, Baltimore, they have to be saying to the SFL world, hey, we are the champs from season 16. From season 15. Don't forget about us. We've been to the, semifinals a couple of times. We've been to the finals a couple of times. Don't count us out. Don't forget about us. We're going to keep you guys. We're going to keep ourselves right at the front of you guys' mind. Jack Whitmore had a huge game today, 5 touchdown passes to 4 different receivers. Mac Chima had a huge game for Baltimore today. Tulsa put forth a pretty good effort. They did come back in this game a little bit, but, Baltimore just kind of flexed their muscles at the end and pulled away.
Jack Wigmore, 444 yards, 5 touchdowns, no picks to 4 different receivers today. All right, here's what is coming up next on our slate. It's the rematch. We've been waiting for this for a long time, Mike. Arizona takes on Denver from that epic quarterfinals. Arizona was eliminated from the playoffs. LA and Houston follows about a half an hour after that. This should be a terrific block with the defending champs trying to get back to 500 and Houston trying to join Baltimore at 4-0.
Yeah, Cam, this is going to be a huge game today. I know Eddie Gage has circled this on his calendar, wanting to get revenge for that, big playoff loss last season that Arizona was in total control of this game. And then now, Cam, I'm going to say a bad word right here. Riley Quintero, broke the hearts of all the Arizona Scorpions and, brought Denver from the jaws of defeat, and they went on to win the SFL championship, as you know. So, going to be a huge game for Arizona. Look for Donnie Hands to have, a say in this game today. Hope, Ashley Jackson, she's had a great start to the season. So look for those 2 guys to hook up, in this game today. But, huge game for Arizona, and I know they want to take control of that the division up there, and with this win here today, if they can pull it off.
I'm not going to lie, Mike. I got a little nervous when you said you were going to say a bad word. A bad word for Arizona. That would be
it's Riley Quintero. Yeah,
for Riley Quintero. The FCC had the buttons at the ready, but no, he's a bad man. Denver, Arizona coming up next. Houston, LA follows. Mike Daggs and Matt Wilson are on the call from Richard L. Snow Memorial in Denver coming up, and we'll see you after the break. This has been Sim Football Postgame and Kickoff of our second block of our Next Level Sports doubleheader follows next.